Zutta rode forth into the desert with his horse. Dusk nearly ate what remaining sunlight he had to work off of. Drifting storm clouds loomed overhead, making it impossible for the moon to guide him. To his fortune, however, he spots a flickering speck resting on the horizon. He strode with haste to the beckoning light. Night had finally claimed the day, but Zutta held no concern, spotting his lion scout flagging him down. He growls lightly as the mischievous lion shines his small lantern at his face. Shine that thing elsewhere, damn it! But it makes the white of your fur shine so bright. Don't want to be our twinkling star tonight? Grrr. Maybe a glooming specter be more like it. Forget it. Ek and Eldron went this way. He escorts Zetta down to the steep, narrow ravine. Zetta manages to spot the rest of his squad at the far end, due in part to the white tiger's fur illuminating by the moonlight that swept through the gloomy clouds. He snarls softly to himself at how annoyingly useful Citrus' method was. Eager to get his mind off the topic, he barks out at the lion as they climb down. So who's the lucky bastard that Nadja nailed tonight? Citrix shrugs. Haven't a clue. Ek told me to be on the lookout while him and Elgeron snoop about. Ek says it might be an Imperial scout. My 5 gold bets it's a Devonair straggler. Don't think it might be a low-kept spy? I just think it's Nadja being Nadja, as far as reasoning goes. I mean, they wouldn't be dumb enough to cross us again like this, would they? Not with the Empire breathing down their necks. Copper for your thoughts, boss? I'm just concerned on how to handle the body, if anything, right now. Be a good bargaining chip if it was someone important. Even more so if the enemy gives a shit and we throw their little flyboy's head at them in return. That too. Sigh, get that out of my face! Zutta and Citrix reach Ek and Elgeron, whom Citrix felt tickled with the idea of brightening up the area with his lantern beaming off of Elgeron's white fur. Elgeron, however, didn't like the idea either and charges after Citrix. The young lion yips and scampers away with the tiger dashing behind. Hey, this is my only one! Zutta ignores the petty dispute and joins Ek. He finds the small cougar sitting on top of what he assumes to be a corpse of the fallen aviator. Ek paid no attention to Zutta. His attention was fully occupied on the particular scroll. The cougar's gaze snapped up to meet his wolven superior in the eye, and a flash of concern tickled his brow. Zutta felt none pleased at the look of his partner's face. I know we agreed no bad news after sunset, but... He hops off the dead body and hands the scroll over to Zutta. A subtle look of bewilderment pulls the reserved wolf's face as he caught the full figure of the corpse. It was a bat, though the body was a disfigured mess, thanks to its dynamic fall from grace, courtesy of Nadja's strong hurl. There was no mistaking the leathering wings coiling around the mangled frame. Zutta, take the scroll and unravel it. Doubt we're gonna get much info off of this trip, boss. The note is vague as horseshit. Ek pads back over the dread bat and lightly kicks its leg. Bastard's body best be worth the weight in gold to his family after the trouble he gave us. Nothing worthwhile in his pockets? Not sure yet. Elgeron and I spent most of our time trying to pull this impelled bastard out between the crevices. Yeah, I can only get so far with a damn spear embedded into your guts and stuck between a hard place. He squats down beside the mangled corpse. That thing came out of his pants while we were tussling him around, but I'll rummage around more while you read that. Zutta grumbles lightly as he attempts to read the parchment. The cloudy night sky made it difficult to read. To his distaste, he finds it more troubling to read the elegant handwriting spread across the page. Zutta stands beside Ek, struggling to make out the words. Can't read a damn thing in this light. You said you were able to read it, right? The cougar nods while pulling out a small coin purse from the bat's back pocket. He shoves his paw in and pulls out knuckles worth of gold from it. Ek was nearly tingling with delight at the heavy weight of riches within his paw. Hmm? Oh yeah, yeah. Don't quote me for quoting, but it said something along the lines of, "Trail the beast, take note of their comings and goings. If worse should arise, remind the scavenger what they're fighting for." That kind of crap. Zutta growls under his breath. Not enough information to go off on, he thought. At least not in this time of day. Try as he could, his eyes stalked over the dead bat, trying to find anything of notoriety from it. Nothing. It adorned slick black leather that meshed well with natural black skin. It brandished no emblems or any house crest either that he could see. A sellsword, perhaps? He couldn't make out anything. Where in the hell did Citrus run off to with that lantern? Ek flips the body over onto its back. Its ribcage resembled a bashed-in watermelon. Nothing but red mush occupied its caved-in chest. Out of the mutilated mess, he spots something out of place within the crushed ribcage, something shiny. A necklace, an amulet, he thought? There was a particular pattern etched into it. The cougar couldn't make it out, not with the murky red blood obscuring it. He tries to pull it out, but feels a tug of a chain fight against him. His eyes were drawn to the bat's neck and notices a lengthy chain necklace tucked away under his armor. Curiosity had bested him now. Undo the chain, rip off the armor, cut off the head. I feel like, so, if we undo the chain, then we're missing out on parts of the chain. If we rip off the armor, it could break something, but like it'd get stuff out of the way or cut his head off. I'm thinking we just rip off the armor. I feel like that might be better. I hope. Let's do that. And I feel like ripping off the armor may potentially make it so we can't use the armor, but let's just go with that. Pulling the chain wasn't going to get him anywhere, not while it was slung around the bat's neck. Ek pawed around the slick black armor while he pulled out a dagger, finding some straps and binds them to a wardrobe. He slices his blade clean through all of them. He flips open the tattered armor like a prized chest. His lofty reward was that of exposed bones, torn chainmail, and colorful array of viscera. Creating a warning totem out of the bat wasn't going to be an issue. Ek thought to himself as he started looting the body. He reels back after getting a noseful of its sweaty, leathery odor. Ek, ugly little bastard, aren't you? Sure ain't like the cute fruit bats back home, yeah? Ek leapt to his feet and readied his blade at the lurking voice. He hesitantly stops when he sees the pleading smile from Citrix. What did we say about sneaking up on our teammates? The lioness shrugged in cocky manner. Sorry, force of habit. His eyes dart across the mutilated remains of the bat. So this is our fallen angel, huh? A thing of beauty, isn't he? Find anything good off him? Yeah, actually, could you shine your lantern on this? He rummages his paw over the dead body and fashions the chain free. He holds the blood-red necklace up and finds himself rewarded to Citrus's grimacing. In a minute, Eldrin went and blew it out while chasing me. He points a thumb behind him. Eldrin held up the lantern while Zutta tries to reignite it with some flint. Piss off again. Ek took the bloodied amulet and cleans it against his pant leg. He still found it difficult to read the markings on the precious metal. What, you're a cat like us. You can see that just fine in the dark, right? Not when the night is this clouded. You're telling me you can see just fine? Whoosh! A howling roar grabbed hold of their attention. A fiery inferno swiftly dies down to a dazzling light within the lantern. The bright mirrored interior of it nearly blinds Ek and Citrus. I can now. Elgeron closes it up and guides Zutta along, whom was busy chugging one of his personal wine pouches. He spits it back out once he's neared his companions. His ghostly white fur was blackened from the chin down. He takes off a glove from his right paw, still steaming with heat. Anything yet? Was that really necessary? Zeta stares at Citrix with a hollowed expression, only to shrug him off. Wind was howling too much to get a proper flame in. Better not have melted anything. Quit your whining. I'll buy another one if you shut up at this point. The tiger shoves the lantern into the lion's chest, prompting him to shine it back on the bat. Ek brings the necklace into the light to examine it. The chain was constantly light, but was bogged down by the weight of the amulet. No, it was a ring. A big bronze ring nearly the size of Ek's entire paw dangled from the chain. What's that you got there? A ring, I think. Huh? Zeta darts beside him and grips the massive ring. Into the light, he wipes away more of the blood and discovers various jagged marks carved into the top. The iron-wielded expression in the wolf's face sunk to a grimly scowl. He rubbed his brow to smooth away the distraught he is now facing. Meanwhile, X stares off, oblivious to everyone's reaction to the piece of jewelry. Am I missing something here? Oh, right. You've never met a Duringe, have ya? The cougar shallowly shakes his head. He faints in ignorance as Zeta scratches the huge ring out of his paw. I've never met a Duringe in my life that knew how to write. Especially with their big sausage fingers. They're simple and to the point. They have a whole set of rings they use to imprint their motives on paper, all holding their own meaning. Damn, talk about a fashion statement. What? What does this ring symbolize? Zeta stares at the ring, a simmering rages kindle in his ember eyes. War. Citrix cups his head and presses out an ugly sigh. This doesn't make sense, though. The Duringe are also under the Lokep flag. Nadja signed a treaty with them when the war broke out, didn't she? She did, under General Karom's orders, though. Maybe it's a ruse set by the enemy? They wouldn't attack their own forces, not when the enemy was drawing near, right? Imperials are the least of our worries, I think. Everyone snapped their attention over to the white tiger. Citrix cast a light over him. He was huddling over the bat, with more of its armor stripped off. He brings everyone's attention to the bat's chest. Someone had branded him right over his heart. Everyone gawked in confusion. Ek, however, felt an unnerving sickness to his stomach at the emblem scarred into the man's chest. Zeta was the first to realize what it was and leers over Ek. Even in the darkest nights, he could feel the wolf's eyes bear down onto him. Hold on, that symbol? Isn't that? He readied to point the obvious out, but fell flat as Ek holds his left ear. A nervous tick. He restrained himself from saying it, but Ek completes it for him nervously. The North Wind Trading Company. Yeah, looks about right. Citrix shines a light over the scar and hisses with disgust. The fur from the bat was seared off, down to the flesh, serving a burnt scar with an elegant spade anchor adorned on its chest. Elgeron continued to strip the bat's armor, strap by strap. Last I checked, Valyria Empire had strict capital punishment for slaver companies, right? Unless they opened the market with them, I doubt they sent this guy. Citrix's face cringed with confusion, completely puzzled by what he was hearing. Everyone was at this point. They were part of the Locum Alliance. What was the point of spying on them like this? Maybe they liberated him and recruited him in? Not that far-fetched, right? He looks at Ek with a weak smile. No. Ek pads over and kneels beside Elgeron and the corpse. He eyes the mark with a bitter grimace. The North Wind likes to brand certain slaves in a few areas to keep track with who does what. This guy was branded on the chest. He was raised to be a slave of war. Once given a task, you take your orders to heart. Elgeron pulls a few throwing knives hidden away on his ankle strap from the bat. Great. So to round it all up, we have a vague-ass letter, a war ring, and a war slave who just so happened to have been trailing us. What the hell does this even spell out? Zeta pulls out the scroll Ek had given him and aligns thoughts with the ring. With these findings, he knew he needed to speak with Nadja right away.